Hey, my name is Sean. Welcome to Echoes in Eternity Bourbon. Do you like comparisons?
Today we are going to compare American Coke.
To Mexican Coke.
Yep, so American Coke and Mexican Coke. The difference is.
So I actually saw something in the comments and I said, you know what, I need to do that. There's a few of these I've been needing to do for a while. So I opened the 1792 12 year the other day. And I enjoyed it, but it's definitely not worth the secondary price for me. But if it's coming in at that $50 price range, maybe I'd go ahead and get it. But for me, it's not one I'm going to search out again. That's just me. But then someone in the comments said, I tend to like it a lot better than the Weller 12. And I thought, interesting. And he even mentioned, compare them, see what you think on them. And I said, okay. So this 12 year, it's coming in at 90 proofer. It's a 90 proofer. Got the cool twist top on it. You got to love that about the Weller 12 year. And I said, let's go ahead and do that. And I thought, you know what? I've got a couple other 12 years just sitting around here too that maybe I'll have some comparisons to see which of the 12 year kind of low proofers that I like the best. I know that I've got the Evan Williams 101 12 year, which I thought was killer, by the way, to steal a word from Dan. I thought it was fantastic. So looking forward to that. Boy, I must be thirsty today. Really over poured that one a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. And let's get into this and see what we got. So I'm excited about that. This rolls out. It'll be Wednesday. I'm excited. We'll be at hump day. After that lunch, when this rolls out, we're on the downhill slide. I hope you guys caught the video yesterday for the 6-pack for the 2,222 members. It's going to be something that basically it was from Spillway stuff. I got 4 different Crittendens. I've got 2 different K-Lukes. All those will make up the 6-packs that'll go away for the winter for that one. Plus, there was also one this, I'm not going to tell you the day, but there's also one for this one right here, this Crittenden's Cut Above, which I thought was outstanding pour yesterday, which was done in the Oloroso sherry casks. But this one today, this one's about the 12-year-olds. This one's coming in at some light proofer stuff. So this one's coming in at 96.6 proof. So a little bit, about 6.6 proof higher than the Weller 12. But Weller 12 is kind of highly acclaimed type of thing. And people are, always hunt for that name Weller. Let's see which of these two is the best. Got a special thing to help mediate this. This is the special water. It's TAP. Local to the area. It's aquifer in this area does a great job of taking care of things. So I think it'll cleanse my palate in between the both. But let's go ahead and get into the nose on these, see what they got. Got my little Sazerac minis here. This was courtesy of Eric Andrews. Eric, thank you very much for that. See, the Weller right off the bat, you get heavy oak. Now, not a lot of people like heavy oak. I'm kind of one of those people. I like the oak. So this to me just kind of reminds me of what I would expect out of a 12 year, not super high proof bourbon. You're going to get your oak, your brown sugars, your vanilla. So it's kind of calling to those type of things right off the bat. It's got a very nice color to it. It's kind of I'd say a dark yellow to it. Good viscosity on it as well. I would say that this also has more of a tobacco and a little bit of a leather to it as well. Let's check out the nose on that 1792 and let's see what we get different on there. Now the coloring's about the same on it. So kind of a, little bit of a deep yellow on there. But this one has a sweeter nose. It's got some oak, but it's not as oak forward as the Weller 12. It's got a little more of a honey type of nose to it. Sweeter nose, a little more perfumey on there, a little more vanilla forward on there. A little bit of like I said, kind of a floral type of note going on there as well. And I do have to say, coming right off the bat, 1792 surprised me a little bit because I do think that the nose has more to offer there. Now, it doesn't mean that I like that nose better, but I think it does have more to offer, which I think that, for me, I would lean into the oak, but for everyone, that if you just want to say that's got more characteristics, I would say the 1792 does. Let's get into the taste of this Weller 12 year. Let's see what we got. So the Weller 12 year comes off sweeter on the palate. You do get that oak. I get almost, and I know people think I'm nuts on this, I almost get like a black licorice note on the back of the palate and the finish on this. It dries up a little bit. You do get some of that tobacco, a little bit of the leather, but it is very, very sweet, which I tend to like. Even though it's not that sweet on the nose, it's very sweet on the palate for me. It's got a little bit of a pepper on the palate as well. So I'd say about a medium finish on this as well. But I get a little bit of a pepper on the palate on this. So I get some sweet, I get some of the oak, I'm getting some of the leather tobacco, I'm getting a little bit of a pepper there. There's a little bit of almost like an apple to this that I kind of get off of it, which a lot of Buffalo Trace products, I tend to get more of a cherry note, but I get a little bit of an apple note off of this. And now that I said cherry, I get a little bit of the cherry too. So it's got some nice fruitiness to it, along with the sweetness, along with the oak, along with some pepper going on there. Let me get into the 1792. Got to cleanse with the TAP. Let's see what we got. So I am getting some good sugars on there. Not as much on the oak, but the sweetness tends to stay a bit longer. Where the Weller 12, you get sweet, then it kind of really transitions into that oak and that spicy. This 1792 12 year, I get some of the oak, but not a whole lot, but it just stays sweet in my mouth and then it just kind of dissipates. But there's something about this that I've tried this a few times now. As you can see, not in huge batches or at a time. I'm not drinking ounces upon ounces of this at a time, but I keep coming back to it because there's something about it that I can't put my finger on, but I really like it. But one of the things is the mouthfeel. This has a very luxurious mouthfeel than a lot of others at this proof point. So it's very viscous, it's very oily, and has a very nice mouthfeel. And even when looking at the Glens on it, when you swirl these up real good, I want to say the 1792 is a little more oily and a little more viscous as far as the legs forming on the Glen itself. It is a little bit higher in proof, for the two that are at the same age. But this one is just a lot smoother, but it's a lot sweeter, and it seems like I'm not getting a lot of transition in flavors the way I do on the 12 year for the Weller. I got to specify which 12 year. This one almost has like a sweet, creamy, buttery type of thing going on as well, which I like. You do get a little bit of that oak, like I said, on the palate, but it's not as heavy as the Weller with the 1792. I'm going to cleanse the palate. I'm going to go back to the Weller, see what I got on that. Yeah, the nose on this Weller 12 year just has something. It's just a deeper, richer type of nose for me. More intense oaky nose. And it's kind of neat how this one kind of ramps up a little bit. It's very, very sweet up front, but then you get some of the pepper, you get some of the oak, the leather, tobacco going along with this. So I would tell you from the beginning on this that if you're not an oak type of a person, if you don't like that oak, if you don't like the drying, if you don't like a little bit of that bitterness, you're probably going to like the 1792 12 year a lot better. Sweet, got great mouthfeel. You know, there's a little bit of something to it I can't peg that it keeps me coming back for more. It's creamy. It's got this sweet kind of creamy buttery thing going on, which I really like on it, but not so much that I'm going to go out and chase it and hunt it all the time. And to be honest, I probably wouldn't hunt either one of these at any kind of secondary. Would I get them at MSRP and be very happy and content? Yes. If I'm paying $50, or $55 for these bottles, I'd be okay with that. They're generally not my proof point, but they're good to have around. So if you have someone that's getting into bourbon and you don't want to blow out their palate, but you want to give them something a little bit heavier so they can understand what you're getting out of the oak, what you're going to get when you have something that has a little bit of tobacco and leather, things like that. So they get a different flavor profile. I think the finish on the Weller 12 is a bit better. And I tend to like that one a little bit better. Let me get back to the 1792 real quick. Yeah, there's just something that I like about this. Like I said, I'm not in love with it, but there's just something about that I like it, that I wouldn't I wouldn't object, come home and have a pour of it and be like, okay, this is better than maybe some of the standard fare $30 or $40 bottles. The problem is that it's very hard to find at its MSRP of $50. If you can get it, grab it. Same thing with the Weller. If you can get it at that price, grab it. But don't spend 100, 150, $200 on these bottles. Like maybe some people very close to this video might have done once upon a time. Just because it was for scientific purposes only. Now, if I'm going to choose between the two of these, I would take the Weller 12 year just because I like that oak a little bit better. I like the way it changes a little bit more. I think it has a little bit better finish. But there's absolutely something neat about this 1792 that I think would be great for someone that just wants a nice, smooth, easy sip and pour at the end of the day. Or if you're getting someone into bourbon and you want to show them what an older bourbon can be, maybe at a 90 to 96 proof level. So I do enjoy this pour. It's something, like I said, I'm not going to go hunt, but I do enjoy it. Get some of that nice corn in there too. So I enjoy that. When I took a bigger mouthfeel and a bigger sip, you definitely get a little more of that oak, but it's still great, very easy, smooth sipper. Not blowing me out in any kind of way at all. But I tend to drink higher proof things. What was so very neat yesterday, and it's funny, I debated on whether to talk about this or not, but my mind overrid my mouth. So let me talk about it a little bit. I talked about in yesterday's video, maybe asking somebody, that you're comfortable talking with stuff. We tend to get comfortable in conversations. We forget to say, hey, what else might be going on? And it just happened to be circumstance. And I didn't ask anything unspecific or anything like that. I was having a conversation with somebody that happens to be a member of the channel, someone that I'm developing a friendship with. And we were texting back and forth on something. And he had mentioned something that, sometimes you don't know what's going on in people's lives. He had mentioned that his wife was going through something right now. And it just took me aback. And I'm thinking, I haven't been really, it always makes me feel like, dang, I'm not asking the right question. So he had told me his wife had been going through some things and that things are looking good and that things are recovering. But he kept hitting me with one of the most powerful words in the English language. And it's a small, small word. But as he kept using this word, it showed me the power behind it sometimes. And you may laugh, but the word is we, of all things. W-E, we. So as we were talking through things and stuff, and I was asking, a little more questions and this, that, and the other, and he was opening up on stuff. But he was like, we appreciate it. We're going to make it through this. We are going to overcome this. And to me, it just meant, it meant a lot. It really kind of hit home with me. It just shows that, when you're in a relationship, when you're in a marriage, how important it is to be a good spouse, a good support. And the fact that, it wasn't she's going to get through this or she's going to have to do this. It's we are going to do this and we're going to get through this. It really tremendously meant a lot. And it just showed me the power of the word sometimes, that somebody else cares about you so much that they're going to make sure that you make it through this as well. Not just through what you're going to do, but they're going to help you along the way. So it just kind of lightened my heart yesterday, and I absolutely appreciate that. So, man, Wednesday. I hope your work week has gone by fast. I hope you're successful in everything that you do. I know that I love to go in. I hope to bring great energy to my teams. I hope to be the person that helps bring people to a different level, because I have so many people at my work that help bring me up all the time. And I'm so appreciative of them. And all of us that are out there working day to day. I don't care if you're a housewife and you're taking care of things at the house and you're raising those young kids and doing those things to make sure that part of the family is successful, or if you're a house husband for that matter. I'd love to be a house husband. I'm just putting that out there for my wife if she ever decided that. But, so they take care of the house. And if you can do it on one income and one person's able to go out and work while you take care of the house, I talk to my daughter all the time. I've talked on here before. My son-in-law's in the military, and her husband's gone for months at a time. And she has a 24/7, 365 job taking care of my two grandboys. So there's a lot into that. No matter what you guys are doing in life, do it well and bring great energy to it, because it will come back. Also this week, another member of the channel's husband is retiring this week. I'm so very excited for them, because it takes it takes two people to win, that are in something, to make something be successful. And I'm so very excited for her and her husband. He's retiring, I want to say today when you see this video. Very excited for them, because this person's put in a lot of time for us. Whether you realize it or not, when people get to that age of retirement, with all the taxes, everything that they've done, they've put in for all of us. And I'm so thankful for all that. But when you get that time, like now that you're in retirement, or when you finally get an off day, if it's during the week or during the weekend, I hope that dial just slows it down a little bit. Have that good conversation with a friend. Have a good pour with somebody. Go on a road trip somewhere. Learn something new about someone that you've known for a long time, because we do get comfortable in things. Ask a different question. Learn the power of how a little small world can make your day a lot better, because you see how it's applied. Things like that. But most importantly, all, cheers and God bless. I hope you all have an amazing day. Thank you.